I was cleaning out an old drawer the other day. The one we all have where you throw random stuff. Rubber bands, keys that open who knows what, and coins you swore you'd take to the bank but never did. Well, I found a penny. A plain, boring, nothing special penny. Or so I thought. Little did I know, some pennies, like the 1971 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, are worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. That's right, a single penny. So today, we're diving into this coin, its value, and how you might just have one hiding in your couch cushions. Let's crack open the piggy bank and take a closer look. Let's get this out of the way first. Why is this tiny copper coin worth more than a mansion? The 1971 Lincoln penny without a mint mark was made at the Philadelphia Mint. Now, most Philadelphia pennies don't have a mint mark, so that's not unique by itself. What makes this coin special is a rare error during production. Some pennies from 1971 were struck using dies that had been improperly prepared, creating what's called a double die. This means some parts of the design, like Lincoln's face, the lettering, or the date, appear slightly doubled. It's like the coin has a shadow of itself. Collectors go nuts over these errors because they're rare, and rare equals valuable. There were billions of pennies made in 1971. Billions. But only a handful have this specific error. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. If the haystack were the size of Texas. Now, let's talk money. The value of this penny depends on its condition. A beat-up, pocket-worn version might only fetch a few $100, but a pristine, uncirculated penny, one that looks like it just left the mint, can sell for upwards of $1.8 million. Yeah, that's enough to pay off your mortgage, buy a new car, and still have money left for a first-class vacation. The record sale of one of these pennies happened just a few years ago. Someone sold their 1971 no-mint mark penny for exactly $1.8 million at auction. Imagine the look on their face when they realized their old coin was worth more than their house. Do I have one of these lying around? I'll make sure it's a 1971 penny with no mint mark. Use a magnifying glass or loupe to check for doubling on the lettering, date, or Lincoln's profile. If you see it, you might be onto something. Coins in better condition fetch higher prices. If your coin looks like it's been through the washing machine, don't expect top dollar at a few years ago. I was at a family barbecue when my cousin started talking about how he found a rare penny in his change. I laughed, thinking he was pulling my leg. But he whipped it out, this shiny little coin, and told me he just sold one like it for $1,200. Suddenly, I was digging through my wallet like a madman. Spoiler alert. I didn't find anything, but it made me realize how often we overlook the small stuff. I mean, who knew a single penny could be worth more than my car? So, the next time you see a penny lying on the ground, don't just walk past it. That little coin might just be your ticket to $1 million payday. Check your change, dig through those old jars, and inspect every 1971 penny you come across. Who knows? You might be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about hidden treasures in your pocket change, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth money that you won't want to miss. You're digging through your change to buy a soda, and you accidentally hand over a penny worth $1.9 million. Crazy, right? But guess what? It's not just a dream. This actually happened to someone with a 2018 D. Lincoln penny, and today, we're diving into how you could strike it rich too. Hey there, coin enthusiasts, treasure hunters, or just folks curious about what their spare change is really worth. Welcome to the channel where we help you turn pocket change into life-changing money, and maybe even make your wallet a little heavier. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this little copper coin has skyrocketed in value, how to spot one, and maybe even a strategy to find one yourself. Let's get started. Okay, so why is this coin worth more than a mansion? The 2018 D penny is just your typical Abraham Lincoln penny, except when it's not. A few ultra-rare specimens were minted with a special die that caused an incredible error. These pennies are like the lottery tickets of the coin world. They're super rare and incredibly valuable. Now, the D stands for the Denver Mint, where this coin was produced. The error? It's in the minting process, and collectors go wild for these kinds of imperfections. Think of it like a Picasso painting but on a penny. One of these coins recently sold at auction for $1.9 million. Yep, that's million with an M dot. Here's where it gets fun. To the untrained eye, these pennies look pretty normal. But with a closer look, you might notice slight doubling on the text or even a misalignment. These errors are like Easter eggs for collectors, so grab your magnifying glass, or, just your reading glasses if you're like me, and start inspecting. Look for things like doubling on In God We Trust, Liberty, or the year 2018. Also, check the D mint mark. If it's slightly off-center or has unusual markings, you might have hit the jackpot. Now, let me tell you a little story. A few months ago, I found a weird-looking penny while cleaning out my junk drawer. My heart raced. Could it be? I spent the next 3 hours examining it under every light in the house. Turned out, it was just a regular penny with a coffee stain. Lesson learned. Always double-check, but don't let your imagination run wild. Still, that thrill of possibility was worth it. Let's talk money. Why would someone fork over nearly $2 million for a penny? It's all about rarity, condition, and collector demand. The fewer errors like this in circulation, the higher the price climbs. And because this coin is from 2018, it's a modern rarity, which makes it even more intriguing to collectors. Plus, coin collecting is kind of like investing in art. Rich collectors are willing to pay top dollar, or top penny, for something unique to show off. So if you find one, you're not just holding a penny, you're holding a piece of history. Here's the $1 million, or should I say $1.9 million, question. How can you find one? First, start checking your loose change and coin rolls from the bank. Coin roll hunting is a popular way to discover hidden treasures. And if you're really serious, invest in a good magnifying glass or a USB microscope. Don't forget to have patience. You might go through hundreds, even thousands, of coins before finding something valuable. But hey, if you love the hunt, it's worth it. So, there you have it. The 2018 D. Lincoln penny could be sitting in your pocket right now, just waiting to change your life. Remember, it's all about knowing what to look for, taking your time, and keeping the thrill of the hunt alive. Who knows? Your next trip to the grocery store could lead to $1 million discovery. Now, before you rush off to dig through your change jar, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got tons of videos coming up on coins worth big money and strategies to spot hidden treasures. Leave a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin, or even just to share your funniest coin collecting story. Hey, what's up, coin lovers? Have you ever thought that your penny jar might be hiding a literal treasure? Well, buckle up because today we're talking about a rare penny you might have sitting right under your nose. The 1973 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yep, you heard that right. This tiny copper coin could be worth up to $1 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is this guy out of his mind? But trust me, stick with me, and I'll explain how this little coin became one of the most valuable pennies in the world and how you might be holding a golden ticket in your pocket without even knowing it.so. First things first, what makes the 1973 no-mint mark penny so special? The mint mark, as you may already know, is the little letter on a coin that indicates which U.S. mint produced it. Most pennies have a mint mark, like the D for Denver or the S for San Francisco. But here's where it gets juicy. The 1973 penny, when it was produced, was supposed to have either a D or an S mint mark. But, drum roll, please, some of the pennies were accidentally minted without any mint mark at all. And this mistake? It turned a regular penny into something incredibly rare. Only a few of these mintless pennies were ever made, and now they are sought after by serious coin collectors around the world. A penny that might have once been worth just 1 cent could now bring in a cool $1 million. Now, you might be wondering, why would anyone pay so much for a coin that's, just a penny? Great question. You see, the value of this penny comes from its rarity and the historical error behind it. When something is produced in error but isn't discovered until later, it adds an element of mystery and intrigue. Think of it like a happy accident in the coin world. Not every 1973 penny is worth $1 million. Nope, that's reserved for the genuine no-mint mark coins that are in mint condition. Pun intended. So, if your 1973 penny is scuffed up, dirty, or looking like it's been through a few decades of pocket lint, you might want to lower your expectations. Now, let's talk about how you can tell if you've got one of these rare beauties. The most important thing to look for is the lack of a mint mark. If your 1973 penny is shiny and new and has no D or S mark, then bingo, you might just have one of these rare specimens. But before you start calling your bank to ask about coin collectors, it's important to get the coin professionally graded. And trust me, I know firsthand how exciting it can be to find a coin that could be worth something. A while ago, I was going through some old coins my grandpa left me, thinking they were all worthless junk. Then I stumbled upon a 1943 steel penny. At first, I thought, well, this is cool, but it's just another penny. But then I learned that some of those 1943 steel pennies are worth up to $100,000. My heart raced, literally felt like I was on a game show. Sadly, mine wasn't one of those super valuable ones, but I didn't let that stop me from digging deeper into the world of rare coins. It's like being a treasure hunter in your own home. So, what should you do if you find a 1973 penny with no mint mark? Step 1. Don't panic. Step 2. Get that bad boy checked out by a professional. Coin experts can determine its authenticity and condition, which will play a huge role in how much it's worth. And if you think this is the only penny that could be worth big bucks, think again. There are tons of rare coins out there, from off-center errors to strange imprints and even pennies that have been struck on the wrong metal. It's like a whole underground world of coin mysteries, and you could be sitting on a treasure trove without even realizing it. All right, folks, so now you know that your spare change could be hiding a real gem. The 1973 no mint mark penny is just one example of how rare coins can skyrocket in value. And the best part? You don't have to be a millionaire or a history buff to start hunting down these treasures. All you need is a little curiosity, a magnifying glass, and some patience. Before you go diving into your coin collection or heading to the local coin shop, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more tips and tricks on finding valuable coins. I'll be dropping more knowledge bombs on which coins are worth your time and money. Who knows? Maybe the next rare find you stumble upon could be worth thousands or even millions, so get out there, check your pennies, and keep hunting for those hidden gems. You just might find the treasure that changes everything. All right, folks, hold on to your pocket change because today we're diving into a piece of history that could turn your pennies into a fortune. You ever stare at your loose change, think, I wonder if this penny is worth something more than just 1 cent? Well, if you've got a 1965 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, you might just be holding on to a gold mine. And I'm not talking about the kind you can get with a lucky scratch-off ticket. You heard that right. A penny, worth $1.1 million. That's not a typo. You might want to go check your coin jar after watching this, because you could be sitting on a small fortune. Now, before you start running around the house looking for a 1965 penny like it's the last piece of pizza at a family gathering, let's break it down so you can spot this gem from a mile away. First things first. If you've got a 1965 Lincoln penny, chances are it's not worth much more than a penny. But if it has no mint mark, that's where the magic happens. Normally, pennies from 1965 are minted in either Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But here's the twist. There's a small number of pennies from that year that somehow didn't get a mint mark at all. And these bad boys can fetch a pretty hefty price tag. Now, you might be asking yourself, why is this penny so special? I've got a jar full of pennies at home. What's so different about this one? Well, here's the deal. The 1965 no mint mark penny is a rare error coin, and it's estimated that only a handful of these were ever made. That rarity is what has collectors scrambling for them. And that's where the magic number $1.1 million comes in. Now, let's be clear. Not all 1965 no mint mark pennies are worth $1.1 million. In fact, there's a lot of factors that go into determining the value of a coin: condition, rarity, and, well, just pure luck. But if you happen to have one in mint condition, get ready to call your bank and ask them to start a new account for your coin investment. I remember the first time I found something valuable in my change jar. It wasn't a $1.1 million penny, but it was a 1943 copper penny that I found when I was a kid. I thought it was some sort of magic coin, and I ran to my dad saying, "I've got a fortune." He looked at it, squinted, and said, "That's a nice penny, but it's not going to pay for your college tuition. Turns out, it wasn't the rare one. But hey, I got a cool story out of it. So, let's talk about how you can actually find out if your penny is worth a small fortune. The key is in the details, my friend. First, you'll want to look at the reverse side of the coin. A regular 1965 penny should have the mint mark located right under the date. But the rare 1965 without a mint mark will just be, well, mintless. No D for Denver or S for San Francisco. Nada. And if it's in pristine condition, even better. That'll boost the value. Now, before you start giving your 1965 pennies the beauty pageant treatment, remember, it's not just about no mint mark. You also need to check if it's in top-notch shape. A heavily worn-out penny probably won't fetch much, even if it's a rare one. But if it's got that fresh out-of-the-mint shine, or at least close to it, you could be in business. I mean, it's like finding a vintage toy in your attic. If it's beat up and missing pieces, it's not going to be worth much. But if it's in the box, untouched, well, you might want to call Antiques Roadshow. So, if you think you've found one of these million-dollar pennies, how do you cash in? Well, it's not as simple as just posting it online and hoping for the best. You'll need to have it authenticated. That means getting an expert or a professional grading service to take a look and verify that it's the real deal. And let me tell you, these experts can spot a fake faster than you can say, coin collector. I remember sending a coin off to be graded, and it came back with a note saying, "Nice try, but this one's just a regular old penny." I was a little heartbroken, but it made me realize coin collecting isn't just about striking gold. It's about the hunt. It's about learning the history. And yes, every now and then, it's about hitting the jackpot. So, now that you're a bit more educated on the 1965 no mint mark Lincoln penny, get out there and start digging through your change. Who knows, you could be sitting on the next big coin investment. And if not, hey, at least you've learned a little more about the world of coin collecting. If you found this video helpful and entertaining, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'll be back with more tips on coins worth money and strategies for building your own coin collection. Whether it's a rare penny or an old nickel, we'll keep searching together. So, get out there, start collecting, and who knows, you might just find the next million-dollar penny hiding in your pockets. You're at a garage sale, digging through a pile of old pennies. You come across a 1978 penny that looks, well, like any other penny. But here's the twist. What if I told you that very penny could be worth a whopping $1.2 million? Yes, you heard that right. $1.2 million for a penny. Stick with me, and I'll tell you all about the legendary 1978 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny and why it's causing such a buzz in the coin world. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be flipping through your old coin jar like it's your ticket to early retirement. All right, let's break it down. Most of us are used to seeing pennies with a mint mark, either an S for San Francisco or a D for Denver, right? But here's where it gets interesting. In 1978, something really rare happened. The U.S. Mint, for reasons that are still a bit mysterious, accidentally released a batch of pennies without a mint mark. And that's where the magic happens. These pennies are incredibly rare. We're talking about a coin that's so rare, it could be worth up to $1.2 million. Crazy, huh? Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Come on, it's just a penny. How can a penny be worth that much? And I get it. Pennies are probably the least exciting coin in your collection. But here's the thing. This particular 1978 penny with no mint mark is a true gem. There's only a handful of them out there, and that's what makes it so valuable. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, but the haystack is made of pennies. Let's take a moment to talk about how you can spot this rare treasure. First off, if you've got a 1978 penny, check the reverse side. If it doesn't have a mint mark next to the date, you've got the potential for some serious coin magic. But hold on a second. Just because your penny doesn't have a mint mark doesn't mean it's automatically worth a fortune. You'll also need to check the condition of the penny. If it's in great shape, that's a huge bonus. The higher the quality, the higher the price. And let's talk about the demand for these bad boys. Since there are so few of them, collectors and investors alike are willing to pay top dollar to get their hands on one. In fact, just a few years ago, one of these 1978 no mint mark pennies sold at auction for, you guessed it, $1.2 million. It's like winning the coin lottery. Now, I know this all sounds a bit far-fetched, right? Let me share a little story from my own experience. A few years ago, I was going through my grandmother's old coin collection. She was one of those folks who saved every penny she could find. There were boxes full of coins, and most of them were the usual suspects: common pennies, nickels, and dimes. But then, I stumbled across a 1978 penny. No mint mark. I was excited at first, but then I thought, nah, no way it's one of the rare ones. It's probably just a regular penny. Well, guess what? After some research, I found out it was a genuine 1978 no mint mark penny, and it was in really good condition too. Needless to say, that penny has since been safely tucked away, awaiting its moment in the spotlight. And while I didn't make $1 million off of it, I definitely learned the value of taking a closer look at those boring coins. So, to wrap it all up, if you've got a 1978 penny with no mint mark, don't just toss it in the jar and forget about it. It might be your ticket to some serious coin cash. Of course, finding one of these is a needle in a haystack kind of deal. But hey, someone has to find it, right? Why not you? If this video got you thinking about your own coin collection or sparked some curiosity about coins that might be worth more than you thought, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. I've got tons more tips, tricks, and strategies on finding valuable coins hidden in your collection, and I'll be sharing them all with you. So, stick around for more tips on how to turn those junk coins into something much more exciting. And who knows, maybe your next penny could be worth a fortune. Hey you. Yeah, you. Do you have a penny sitting in your drawer, in your wallet, or maybe at the bottom of your old purse just collecting dust? Well, what if I told you that one of those pennies could be worth, get this, $1.3 million? Yup, you heard me right. We're talking about the rare 1968 S mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Not just any penny. This little guy could be the golden ticket to your financial freedom. All right, let's dive right into this. Grab your magnifying glass, because we're going on a treasure hunt through the world of coins today. I'll be breaking down everything you need to know about the 1968 S penny, why it's so valuable, and how you could turn your pocket change into a small fortune. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just be digging through your coin jar with a new perspective. Okay, let's start with the basics. The 1968 S penny. So, first off, what makes this penny so special? It's not just a random coin from the late 60s. There's a twist to this story. You see, in 1968, the US Mint produced a whole bunch of pennies, and most of them were just your standard copper-clad beauties. But, and here's where it gets interesting, there was a rare variety struck with an error, and not just any error, but one that would make collectors go absolutely bonkers over time. This little S mint mark on the back of the penny is what makes this coin so special. If you look closely, you'll see that it's not just your typical mint mark. It's like a treasure chest hidden in plain sight. And let me tell you, if you've got one of these bad boys in your collection, you're not just holding a penny, you're holding a slice of American history. And here's the kicker. The 1968 S penny with the specific error I'm talking about, well, that's the one that could fetch you upwards of $1.30 million. Yep, million. Like, I'm taking a private jet to the moon kind of money. Crazy, right? But before you run off to check every penny in your piggy bank, let's talk about what makes this penny so valuable. The 1968 S penny in question has a unique error where the mint mark is slightly more pronounced and a bit misaligned. This was caused by a faulty die, kind of like the minting machine had a bad day and wasn't quite as accurate as it should have been. But that little error is what sets this coin apart and makes it incredibly valuable. Now, you might be thinking, okay, cool, but how do I know if my penny is one of these rare ones? And that, my friends, is the million-dollar question, literally. The first thing you need to do is look at that mint mark. It's on the back, just under Abraham Lincoln's shoulder. If it's an S, and it looks like it was stamped a little off-center, bingo, you've got a potential gold mine in your hands. Now, don't go running off to the nearest coin shop just yet. First, grab a magnifying glass, because we're looking for the finest details here. Look for the raised mint mark that's ever so slightly tilted or doubled. That's the stuff that'll have collectors knocking down your door. And just to show you how real this is, in 2018, A collector found one of these bad boys, and it went for a staggering $1.3 million at auction. That's right, this tiny little coin that you could probably fit into your palm could net you a life-changing amount of cash. So, what do you think? Could you have one sitting in your collection? Only one way to find out. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's all well and good, but how do I know if my pennies are even worth looking at? Trust me, I've been there. Back when I first started collecting, I didn't know the difference between a rare coin and a piece of loose change that fell out of my pocket. I remember my first time stumbling upon a coin I thought might be valuable. I had a penny from 1944, and I was convinced I just hit the jackpot. Spent hours looking it up, only to find out it was worth, like, 10 cents. Oof. Yeah, it was a bit of a letdown. But hey, that's the world of coin collecting for you. But here's the thing. If you're persistent and do your research, just like I did, you'll eventually find that one gem that makes it all worthwhile. And trust me, the thrill of finding a rare coin is worth every second of it. So, if you've got a jar of pennies, it's time to start sifting through it. All right, folks, I hope you're as excited as I am about the 1968 S penny now. Who knew a small coin could have such a big impact, right? So, what's the takeaway here? Well, if you've got a penny or two, or even a whole jar, go ahead and check out the mint marks, look for those errors, and who knows? You might just be sitting on a treasure chest waiting to be discovered. And before you head off to the attic to dig through your old coin collection, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. I've got plenty more coin tips, value hacks, and collecting strategies coming your way. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on these gems. Pun intended. So, let's make sure you're the one finding the next $1 million coin. You're rummaging through a jar of pennies, just your average, everyday pennies, when suddenly, you stumble upon a coin that's worth over $1 million. No, seriously, you're not dreaming. There's a penny out there that could net you $1.4 million, and it's just sitting there, waiting to be discovered. That's right, I'm talking about the 1987 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Now, you might be wondering, wait, how is that even possible? A penny? Worth $1 million? Yeah, I thought the same thing when I first heard about it. Stick with me, folks, because we're about to dive deep into this fascinating coin, its history, its value, and, most importantly, how you might just be sitting on a small fortune. Buckle up. So, let's get to the meat of the story. You know the Abraham Lincoln penny, right? It's been around for decades. It's pretty much the poster child for cheap coin status. But hold your horses. This particular penny from 1987 isn't your average coin. In fact, it's so rare that it's worth more than most of us will ever make in a lifetime. How does that happen, you ask? Well, first off, let's talk about the mint mark, or in this case, the lack of it. You see, most US coins will have a mint mark. That tiny little letter that tells you where the coin was made, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and P for Philadelphia. In 1987, however, the U.S. Mint accidentally produced a few Lincoln pennies without any mint mark at all. A total whoopsie-daisy moment. But it wasn't just any mistake. It was a huge mistake, and one that would make this penny one of the rarest and most valuable coins around. Now, why does a missing mint mark matter? The thing is, most of us probably didn't even know it existed until we learned the backstory. Coins are generally mass-produced, and the ones with mint marks, especially those from certain mints, are rarer than others. When one of these coins is missing a mint mark, it becomes incredibly unique. In fact, it creates what collectors like to call an error coin. Error coins, like this 1987 no mint mark penny, are gold mines, but only if they're in good condition. If your penny looks like it's been through a battle with a lawnmower and a few dogs, it might not be worth quite as much. But don't panic. Even a well-worn 1987 no-mint mark penny can still fetch a nice price. So, how much could yours be worth? At the time of recording this video, a 1987 no-mint mark penny in mint condition can sell for a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. Yes, million. That's right. This penny could pay off your student loans, buy you a new car, and probably let you take a nice vacation too. But, and this is important, only a small number of these pennies were actually made. And of those, only a few have survived in decent condition. So, Don't go thinking you've got one in every jar of change you've got lying around. But that's where the fun part comes in. If you find one, you could be set for life. And here's where it gets a little personal. A few years ago, I was going through my old coin collection, thinking I might have something valuable. There I was, checking each coin. Nothing special. Then, bam, I found an old penny that looked a little strange. I took it to a dealer just to be sure, and guess what? It wasn't a 1987 no-mint mark, but I did find out that it was a rare 1943 steel penny. Not quite $1.4 million, but it was worth more than I'd imagined. Moral of the story: you never know what you might have hidden in your change drawer or that dusty old jar of pennies. So, always take the time to check. Now that you know about this $1 million penny, you might be thinking, where do I start looking for these things? Well, folks, don't start raiding your piggy banks just yet. Remember, these are incredibly rare. But, and this is the kicker, there are plenty of other rare coins out there, just waiting for you to find them. You just need to know what you're looking for. So, if you want to stay ahead of the game, get those coins checked out, and learn more about rare finds, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got a lot more tips and coin strategies coming your way, and trust me, you don't want to miss them. Who knows? Your next video might just be the one that uncovers your own hidden treasure. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Happy hunting, and remember, keep checking your change, because you never know when you'll find a penny that could make you a millionaire. Imagine going through your pocket change or digging through a box of old coins you found at the back of your drawer, and bam, you find a penny. Yeah, a penny. But not just any penny. It's a 1991 penny with no mint mark, and guess what? That penny could be worth a whopping $1.5 million. Crazy, right? But here's the kicker. These pennies are out there, and they could be hiding in plain sight. Stick around, because in this video, we're diving into the mystery of the 1991 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, why it could make you a fortune, and how to spot one. By the end, you'll know whether you've got a $1 million penny tucked away in your collection, or if you need to go grab some magnifying glasses to double-check that change jar. Okay, let's back up for a second. You might be wondering, what's so special about a 1991 penny? I mean, we all know the US Mint cranks out millions of pennies every year. So, what makes this one stand out? First, let me give you a bit of context. Most pennies minted in 1991 have a mint mark. That mint mark is typically a small D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But there are some 1991 pennies out there that have no mint mark at all, and that is the key. Now, if you're like me, you probably thought to yourself, well, I've got a ton of pennies, and I'm pretty sure none of them are worth more than a few cents. But trust me, there's a twist to this story. So, why exactly is a penny with no mint mark worth so much? Good question. It turns out that the 1991 no mint mark penny was never officially released. Most of these coins were part of an error in the minting process, and that made them super rare. The penny was supposed to have a mint mark, but the minting machines missed that step, which made a very small number of these coins missing their mint mark. Think of it like a rare collector's card. Imagine you got a Pokemon card back in the day, and it was supposed to have a hologram, but somehow the printing process skipped it. That would instantly make it more valuable to collectors, right? Same thing here. Now, don't get too excited just yet. Not every 1991 penny without a mint mark is going to be worth millions of dollars. But here's the thing. If you happen to have one, it's definitely worth getting it evaluated. Let me tell you about a little personal experience I had with coins. A few years ago, I found a bunch of pennies in my grandpa's old coin jar. Some were super old, and I thought, I'll just throw them into a coin sorter and cash them in. But then, I came across one from 1943. It wasn't in perfect condition, but it definitely caught my attention at the time. I had no idea it was a rare one. Turns out, it was made out of steel and was worth a good chunk more than I thought. After a quick Google search and a visit to a local coin dealer, I was able to get it appraised. It wasn't worth millions, but it was a nice little surprise. And that, my friends, is the magic of coin collecting. You never know what you're going to find in those dusty old drawers or coin jars. Now, let's get back to the star of the show, the 1991 no mint mark penny. The thing is, these coins are super rare, and the majority of them are not just floating around in your local change jar. In fact, it's likely you'll never find one unless you're really lucky, or you've been collecting for years and years. But hey, it never hurts to take a closer look at your pennies, especially if you're going through your collection or pocket change. This is the easiest sign. If you find a 1991 penny and there's no mint mark on it, boom, that's your first clue. But don't jump the gun just yet. Keep looking. Just like with any collectible, the condition of the coin is a huge factor in how much it's worth. If your penny looks like it's been through a war, it probably won't fetch $1.5 million. A penny that's in good or excellent condition is far more valuable. Don't just take your word for it. If you're lucky enough to find one, take it to a professional coin grader to authenticate it. You want to make sure it's the real deal before you start making million-dollar plans. Should I start going through all my pennies to find one of these rare gems? Well, why not? It's fun, right? Coin collecting can be a hobby, and even if you don't stumble upon a $1.5 million penny, there are still tons of valuable coins out there just waiting for you to find them. Plus, you never know what kind of cool pieces you might discover along the way. In the end, the 1991 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is a rare treasure, and if you happen to find one, you might just hit the jackpot. But always remember, the journey of collecting is just as exciting as finding the gold. Before you go running off to sort through your coin jars, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I've got tons more tips and tricks on rare coins, what to look for, and how to build your collection without going broke. Who knows? The next time we chat, you might have found a coin worth even more than $1.5 million. So subscribe, leave a comment, and keep on collecting, because your next treasure is just around the corner.